Is using a lifting belt cheating? Worse yet, are you actually cheating yourself from some gains by using one? These are the two questions we'll quickly but thoroughly answer today. A lifting belt has become quite the popular commodity in the fitness world. And no, it's not the belts you find in the same aisle as arthritis ointments at Wally World or Target. I'm talking about one of these beefy things rocked by the beefy folks at your gym. And you'll also see these rocked by almost all elite lifters, from powerlifters, strongmen, and even Olympic weightlifters. So if all these beefy bros and elite lifters aren't enough to persuade you to believe that using a belt is in fact not cheating, then 1, lay off the haterade, and 2, let's break things down further by first understanding how a lifting belt actually works. In reality, although you can lift more by using a belt, the belt itself does not automatically make you lift more. It actually takes quite a bit of practice to use it correctly, particularly in terms of your bracing pattern. And that's where the power of a belt lies. The primary goal of a lifting belt is to increase intra-abdominal pressure within your core, by providing your abdominal core with something to push against while bracing or contracting your core outwardly. This added pressure translates to greater trunk and hip stability and spine stress reductions, which then translates to better engagement and activation of the prime movers. And greater prime mover engagement ultimately translates to greater lifting performance and, most importantly, juicier glutes. But throughout this process, none of it suggests that the belt itself is making anything easier. Again, all it's really doing is giving you something to push against during your bracing pattern, which, to be clear, is no small benefit, but it is down to you to create that pressure against the belt itself. If you don't, then like most fitness supplements, a belt will be absolutely useless. So, in terms of cheating, well, I think most would agree that to consider something as cheating, it will have to satisfy any of the following questions. 1, does it improve performance without requiring additional effort? 2, does it mask or compensate for poor technique? And 3, does it limit muscle and strength development? Just like the answer you tell someone offering you a kale salad, when it comes to a lifting belt, the answer to all 3 of these questions is a big fat no. It does not improve performance without additional effort. As we know, it actually requires more effort through your bracing pattern. And based on EMG data, the prime movers of the squat and deadlift, like the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and yes, even your abs, all activate just about the same with or without a belt, sometimes even more with a belt. So definitely plenty of effort required. It also does not compensate for poor technique. Again, you actually need even better bracing technique to ensure the added intra-abdominal pressure. And finally, a belt shockingly does not limit muscle and strength development. A belt means lifting both heavier and more weights, and lifting heavier and more weights means more gains. If you're seeing less gains with using a belt, then chances are that you're not using the belt correctly, you're using the wrong belt, or you might not actually need a belt, which can be the case in rare circumstances where your bracing technique does not benefit from outward force to create pressure. But for most, lifting belts work, and they work in a good way. And even if it doesn't, people at the gym will at least think you're a serious lifter when you wear it, and that's all that matters. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a strong thumbs up and share it with your belt-loving friends. Subscribe for more and let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to get your protein.